Lexus. There have been 68 that are now currently under the threat of death, 48 that are displaced, and 3 that internationally are refugees. Came into the bottling plant in northwest Colombia. You imagine Colombia somewhat of as an odd-looking diamond in the northwest corner. Came looking for the chief negotiator, a man by the name of Isidro Gil. Isidro was there working at the factory. In fact, he was the chief gate operator in that morning shift. The paramilitaries asked for him, found him, shot him in the forehead. When the rest of the workers came out, the paramilitary, still standing over his bleeding body, said, "If all you motherfuckers don't resign by 4 p.m. tomorrow, you'll end up like Isidro." So of course workers faced with losing their jobs or losing their lives, they all agreed to resign. And they resigned on letterhead of the Coca-Cola company that was printed off of Coca-Cola printers, that was handed to the workers by the paramilitaries, showing a direct connection that in all these uniformly signed letters of resignation, that there had been a clear connection between paramilitaries and the Coca-Cola company. So of course, there's no more workers at the factory. Everyone's resigned from their union and from their job. Therefore, 3 weeks later, new workers are hired at 1/3 of the salary, showing a direct connection. The Coca-Cola company, above all else, with this entire campaign over the course of the last several years, is most afraid of this here in this room. Maybe a lot of us sitting down in ages from 18 to 24 years of age continue to consume the real thing for the rest of their lives. It hurts their image. And beyond all else, right, just like Poland Spring puts out these waters, it's actually made by Nestle, like most waters in the New York metropolitan area. What they worry is the image of their product. So whether it be Coke, Diet Coke, Fanta, Sprite, Mr. Pibb, Odwalla, Barks, that new Vault energy drink shit. There's Vitamin Water was recently bought out by Coca-Cola. They also own Fruitopia and many drinks outside of the U.S. market. In fact, it was part of the contract that there couldn't be public drinking fountains, and instead there should be Dasani bottled water machines where we could easily pay $1.50 and get our blue bottle with Coke water. An added component here to throw in the environment, they're exploiting subsoil water tables. They're being great community partners in sucking up the water from these wells, using it to make their products, now leaving the soil without water. Now they go one step further in creating this syrup for Coke products. There's a byproduct that in solid form they are selling as a fertilizer to those same farmers from whom they stole the water. Now it should be known that in solid form, that fertilizer is actually a pollutant, which when mixed with water, applying it to the topsoil, is damaging these crops. So we're left with a drought due to the lack of water, and famine due to burnt topsoil. The disadvantage is that we're here for only a few years. Typically 4 years, you really have to make 5 years. Eventually we move on, right? And administrators, and especially Coke, are banking on that, big time. So that we get discouraged, we get pissed off. For the lives you've lost, for all the violence you faced, for all the political harm that we created for you, Señor Trenal and workers in Colombia, we'll write you a nice check. And now with their motivations to include the issue of heart awareness that I recently saw on TV as a central issue of Coca-Cola in the world, that it really still is a bunch of BS. They'll probably say, alright, so you guys want Coke out, and then who are you going to bring in? They probably would say Pepsi, right? Or they've even asked, are you guys being paid off at Pepsi to run this campaign against Coke? At first, the allegations against Coca-Cola in India are also being leveled against Pepsi. They're all in the same type of environmental exploitation. And the fact is that we're not advocating for Pepsi at all. We're not advocating for any beverage. We're advocating for the fact that Coca-Cola could be kicked off the face of the earth, but it's unlikely. That Coca-Cola could stick around if they respect the basic right of a worker, whether they be a woman, whether they be an indigenous member, whether they be Afro-Colombian, whether they be in Colombia or outside. Much like any issue of community investment as a business or as a corporation, that we're not asking that they not make profits per se, but that it be with the human interest first and the bottom line second.